Paltrocast. Joel, how's your day going aside from talking to media people asking you the same grade and
Great questions all the time. Yeah, man, actually really good. I like doing interviews earlier in the day because you just, you know how it is, your brain's a little bit more fresh and less fried. It's the hardest for me when I just feel like I don't have anything, anything left to give, you know? And so
well,
it's actually been really nice. I had a little cup of coffee this
yeah,
morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was going to be my follow-up question. I was going to say, is it still coffee o'clock for you? I didn't know what time zone you were in, if you were in Nashville, Australia, etc. But
Nashville, Tennessee, man. We're here.
fantastic. Long Island, New York. You don't play a lot of gigs around here,
Man,
unfortunately.
I love that you stand. That's because you're standing, right? Are you standing?
You got to stand
Yeah.
for something, right, Joel?
There's something. Yeah, right. You got a great energy about you whenever we talk because you're always standing. And how about the
Now,
avocado balloon?
I took that from an Avocados from Mexico press event. It's one of those things where if you don't take it, they have to take it back to the office. So they said, please take it. And it's still standing. Who would have thought? But
There
we're
it
not
is.
talking about avocados or me or my energy. We're talking about you. And your 2024 is very overwhelming because there's Unsung Hero, there's arena touring or stadium touring, you could argue, there's new music, etc. Were you able to take it easy at the end of 2023 at all?
Yes and no. So we 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 sort of blocked out, Mariah and I blocked out like October, and we're like, we're just not leaving town.
Yeah.
So and we did the same thing with January. We said we're not leaving town in January. The trouble is you end up like bottlenecking like all of your events into like the next month. And so, bro, November hit and it was like bah, bah, bah. Say
Yeah.
February hit and it's like you're just going. And so, but I wouldn't look, I like the delineation of time. I like the ability to be able to like otherwise, you just feel like it's like throwing a great steak dinner into a blender. Like there's no flavor. Like you're still sustaining yourself, but there's no flavor. It's like I want to focus on the one thing. And so, man, I feel actually really invigorated. I feel very, uh, excited about 2024. I turned 40 this year, and so it actually feels very, um, I don't know. It feels like a bit of a pivotal, overwhelming, yes, but a really thrilling year. One of those moments in my life where like feels like a lot of life has been sort of leading to some of these moments, you know? And so
Yeah.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud to step into it. I feel like I got the energy and the excitement and the passion for it.
When it comes to job titles, 10 to 15 years ago, I go, oh, yeah, best-selling musician Joel Smallbone. But now I don't know what to call you because of this movie, because of the other success and the mainstream success and all that. Is it fair to still just call you acclaimed best-selling musician Joel Smallbone, or do we now have to say film producer and best-selling motivational speaker?
I've never been much for titles, Darren. I don't feel like you are either. I like I'm a creative, you know. As part of what I love about 2024 is like you like the lanes, all the linear lanes of like writer, musician, director, actor. Like a lot of this is just being blown up and it's like can we just be creatives? Can I just like let me direct this thing, but let's write some music for it and let's like throw it all in the pot together and stir it up and see what comes out, you know. So and it's probably the way I've always deemed myself is like I love the arts. I love creativity. And I love finding my own heart and spirituality and soul and my loves. I love portraying them through it. And so yeah, it feels very I've not gotten caught up too much with the titles. I will say though, movie making versus music making. Movie making is like music on steroids, man. Everything is bigger and more dramatic and intense in movies.
The timeline is ridiculous.
The money, the amount you're spending, the teams, yeah, it's crazy.
Are you going to do the thing? I saw Rob Zombie do this. I assume you know who Rob Zombie is, but if I'm wrong, tell me. He was the singer of.
You're wrong.
Okay. Rob Zombie, the singer of White Zombie, this heavy metal singer, but also a very successful film director. When you see him live before the encore, he hits you with the film trailer. Are you going to do that kind of thing in the Homecoming tour?
Potentially, potentially. We've kind of started doing it already. Like with the middle of the show, we have a song under the same title as the movie, Unsung Hero. And so we sort of hit like we hit visuals from the movie during the song. And then before it, what we've been doing is like, hey, we want to play you a clip from the movie. So we'll just like throw a clip at them for 4 or 5 minutes and then we'll go into another song. So yeah, I think the short answer is yeah. Again, I kind of love it. I like, why not marry it all? Like why do we need to be, isolated into these different corners,
Do they get a costume change while the 4 to 5 minutes happening, or is it just a towel off?
No. It's just a towel off. It's just a towel off.
Yeah, so at this point in your career, the number of #1 hits that you have had and clearly are going to continue to have, it must pose a problem with putting together the set lists.
Man, this is what I love about you, Darren. I love that you're so focused on all of these types of things because this is what makes you good. Like most people aren't thinking about this kind of stuff. I take incredible amounts of pride in the set list. I have taken it upon myself every show. In fact, I was texting someone right before you came up about we got a 4-song set list at an event tomorrow. It's like, what are we going to do? And I take a lot of pride in going, okay, who's the audience? Where, what kind of environment? And my MO, some people have the like, I'm just going to play what I want. And like, it's a little self-indulgent, man. We're very, both Luke and me, very public servant with this mindset of like, what do the people want? Mm-hmm. And we wrote all the songs, so it's no different for us. We will play we will craft a set to whatever we feel like will be the most, thrilling and moving for the people.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so that's, yeah.
The reason that I'm very intrigued about that is a lot of the times you find that a band that's been around 15, 20 years, that kind of a thing, the hits were not the same everywhere in the world. That this song as a fluke was #1 in Portugal, but not a single in the States, that kind of a thing. So when you play in the States versus Australia and New Zealand, is it the same songs or are there albums that were more successful over there?
Spoiler alert, we're actually going to add a couple songs. So we're doing, as part of the movie Unsung Hero, we're doing an Inspired by soundtrack that has like, I mean, bro, more features than ever. We've got a Rod Stewart song on there. And one of the songs that I've not announced yet, but you've heard it here first, is we've done a cover of You're the Voice, which is a John Farnham song.
Wow.
That was massive, to your point, massive everywhere else in the world except America. Like it's like Australia's national anthem. And so we did a cover of it for this soundtrack. And you best believe, bro, we're going to play that in Australia. But if we played it over here, people would just look at us sideways. And so, yeah, you massage the set to the environment or to the location you're in. Speaking of, New Zealand and Australia.
There's the reason I know that song is there's a non-faith movie called Hot Rod, which was Andy Samberg's first starring movie. And it has a great fake riot scene with You're the Voice. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. No, I've heard of it. But I've not seen it. No.
That's a fantastic one. And I think, echoing what you're saying, take a song like Throw Your Arms Around Me. That's an Australia thing, not a US thing. But then at the same note, as a person who loves Van Halen, not a big band in Australia. So you kind of get that.
No. I'll give you another one. What Are We Waiting For, which is the title track of our last album, was a #1 here in certain genres, but very briefly. It was a #1 in Australia for 12 weeks. So literally, when we were crafting the set, I was like, we shouldn't play What Are We Waiting For? And then Caden Tooley, our head of creative, turned around and said, wait, it was a #1 there for 12 weeks. And I was like, oh, guys, we have to play it. Like, so yeah, you recraft based on the location you're in.
Well, as a follow-up to keep the compliments coming right here, Are there rooms in your house that have the platinum plaques, or do you just give those to Goodwill because you don't want to see them because it's an ego inflation that your wife will,
Uh,
not
we
tolerate?
we we don't put them here. We do have them. It's actually a little embarrassing if you go to our management office. You've just got, because we won 4 Grammys, but we each get Grammys. So if you put them together, it's 8 Grammys. So it looks a little bit self-indulgent when you go to our management office and you see the Billboard Awards and the AMA and the Grammys. And anyway,
Well,
yeah.
where I go with that is sometimes when you're talking to a notable musician, you could walk in their house and go, "That is a notable musician," and then there's other people who have no swag,
No,
nothing. You would never know.
you would never know if you walked into our house. This is our house, and you would not know. Mariah has a room downstairs where it's her up because she's a musician and she's a Latin country musician, and so she has her acoustic and stuff. But it's very workman stuff. It's like studio speakers and recording instruments. It's not accolades.
Got
Yeah.
it. Well, I won't fault you if you did have a secret accolade room, but down to the
Thank you.
last
Thank you.
two questions here before I let you go. First one, when does life slow down for you? Because we talked about what a busy 2024 it is and how you had to take some off time. Usually you'll see world tours kind of like 18 months on and off. Do you know what the finish line is, or does the success of this tour dictate whether it keeps going and going?
We will have pockets of off time, like after the homecoming tour in Australia and New Zealand. I'm actually, which is really beautiful. I'm going to be, it ends like a couple of days before my 40th birthday. So
Mhm.
I'm going to be in Australia for my 40th and have a couple of weeks, sort of mid-year time. Um, but beyond those pockets, man, and this is going to sound like a joke, in my mind, based on what I see, and this is all Lord willing, this is all subject to change. But 2028, that's when it potentially slows down.
Wow. I don't know what to say to that. I don't think many people who are going to hear or see this go, 2028, I know what I'm doing. So
Well, I
the
don't, but I have a plan, like albums and movies, and like I have a secret plan of what should happen when, and tours, etc. To your point, and when would be the next time that we went? Okay, we finished whatever this, not to use a Taylor Swift term, but whatever the era is here, we finished that era. This era, in my mind, and I'm gonna completely reserve the right to change my mind. But right now, on the 5th of March, 2024, I take time in 2028.
well, the follow up to that before I let you go is obviously everything I'm hearing is positive and driven and motivation oriented and faith based and family based. But do you have any stupid hobbies? Is there anything that you do that kind of tones down the intellect? Are you a big TikTok scroller? Do you play Fortnite? Do you do anything that is not just helpful and supportive?
I take baths. Like my best day, I'll take 2 or 3 baths.
Okay, that I'm not going to
Is
top
it
that
does
one.
does that work for you? You didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, I was
No.
expecting to hear. I support my local football club, and I'm in the stands whenever I can be.
No,
Or
man, the thing is, there's so much movement in my life right now that anything I can do to actually just like is very hopeful. Yeah.
fantastic. Well, thank you for the many years of great music. Looking forward to what's to come, and hope eventually to see you at an arena on Long Island, New York. But until then, congrats on
Darren,
Unsung.
I always love our time. Thanks for squeezing me into your schedule. And you know what I love about us is I feel like we're two blokes that have a lot in common, and yet we're just twisted degrees enough to be really different. Like your music and your movie preferences and mine, I think are different enough just to be like, oh, this is a good match.
Paltrocast.